Since the mid-20th century, the Middle East has been a hotspot of volatility, with Israel engaging in wars and facing threats from militias like Hamas and Hezbollah. Conflicts have involved regional and global powers, leading to widespread instability and violence. The Middle East has been the most volatile part of the world since the mid-20th century, with multiple conflicts among disparate rivals. Some erupted over domestic disputes, others over regional competition, with spillover drawing in major world powers. Israel fought 4 major wars with Arab neighbors, including Egypt, Syria and Jordan, between 1948 and 1973. But since the creation of the Palestine Liberation Organization in the mid-1960s, it has increasingly faced challenges from militias or non-state actors, eventually also including Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in the Palestinian territories, and the Houthis in Yemen. The militias became major military players in the 1980s, then evolved into influential political parties in the 1990s and 2000s. In the 21st century, they have been the most consistent threat to Israel. By 2024, many conflicts flared across the region. Israel faced 2 front lines in the south against Hamas and in the north against Hezbollah. Both were members of the so-called Axis of Resistance, a network of Shiite movements armed, trained, and financially supported by Iran. Tensions also played out between Israel and the wider Arab world. In Iraq and Syria, other Iranian-backed militias attacked US forces deployed to help contain the remnants of ISIS after the Islamic State collapsed in 2019. Yemen was involved in 3 wars: a civil war at home, a regional confrontation with Saudi Arabia, and attacks on international shipping in the Red Sea. The undercurrent in all these conflicts was the escalating tensions between the United States and Iran. The following is the background on all 10 conflicts. Israel and Hamas. With the PLO sidelined after Israel's invasion of Lebanon in 1982, tensions between the Palestinians and Israel deepened in the occupied territories of Gaza and the West Bank. The First Intifada erupted in 1987 after an Israeli military truck killed 4 Palestinians in Gaza and lasted until 1993. The protests gave rise to Hamas, an Islamist movement that shifted the goals of the Palestinian movement. It decreed there is no solution for the Palestinian question except through jihad. Initiatives, proposals, and international conferences are all a waste of time and vain endeavors. The First Intifada ebbed with the 1993 peace agreement between Israel and the PLO. A second Intifada erupted in 2000 after the collapse of US-led talks between Israel and the PLO at Camp David. Violent protests continued until 2005, when Israel withdrew unilaterally from Gaza. In the 2006 Palestinian elections, Hamas won the majority of seats in parliament in a major political upset over Fatah, the dominant PLO faction. Amid disputes among the Palestinians, Hamas seized control of Gaza, while Fatah led the West Bank government. Hostility between Israel and Hamas flared into conflicts in 2008, 2012, 2014, 2018, 2021, 2022, 2023. On October 7, 2023, Hamas launched cross-border raids in the deadliest attack on Jews since the Holocaust. Israel's military response killed tens of thousands of Palestinians and destroyed more than half of Gaza's buildings. Israel and Hezbollah. Israel's invasion of Lebanon in 1982 forced thousands of PLO fighters to flee to other countries. Its ongoing occupation sparked fury among Lebanon's Shiites and the creation of Hezbollah, a militia armed, trained and aided by Iran. It was underground for a decade, then emerged to run for parliament in 1992. Hezbollah attacked Israeli forces throughout their 18-year occupation of Lebanon. Under pressure from suicide bombings and attacks, Israel opted to withdraw in 2000, for the first time in the midst of a war without a peace agreement. At the time, then Israeli Defense Minister Yitzhak Rabin reflected, among the many surprises, and most of them not for the good, that came out of the war in Lebanon, the most dangerous is that the war let the Shiites out of the bottle. No one predicted it. I couldn't find any intelligence report. He added, "In my opinion, the Shiites have the potential for a kind of terrorism that we have not yet experienced." In 2006, a cross-border raid by Hezbollah sparked a 34-day war with Israel. For all the death and destruction, Hezbollah was able to rearm and rebuild. By 2024, it had an estimated 150,000 rockets and missiles pointed at Israel. After the Hamas attack on Israel on October 2023, Hezbollah launched more than 700 rockets or missiles into northern Israel in the first 3 months in sympathy with its Palestinian allies. Narrator. Stay informed. Subscribe for more updates.